Wow. If you guys are NASCAR fans, you know what is up right now with Anthony Wayne Stewart, which most of you guys know him as Tony Stewart. And this is all over the news. It's news to me right now. I've been following NASCAR heavily for the last 3 years, but this past year, I just got rid of cable, so I'm not following every single race, but I'm still very much involved with the sport and kind of keeping track of what's going on. And I just got the news today. If you don't know, basically what happened was there was a race, and it wasn't the full-size cars. There were smaller cars. It was a dirt track, completely different. And Tony Stewart was coming around the lap, and he clipped Kevin Ward Jr., spun him out, tire blew out. He was pissed. Got out of his car, walked across the track, okay? Not completely down in, but was walking, just pissed off. Saw Tony doing another lap around, and Tony clipped him. He clipped him with the car. I don't think it was on purpose. I really, truly don't think it was on purpose. I think he was trying to scare him, got too close, and it was just a travesty. But he hit him, and he killed him. 20 years old, this guy, this driver. 20 years old, and he's dead. So this is the biggest news in NASCAR since Dale Sr. died. This is huge, and I'm eager to follow this story and see what happens. And I just want to say that Kevin Ward Jr. Thoughts and prayers to his family, of course, and this is something that rocked the sport of NASCAR. It really, really did. And anyone who's watching the video, obviously, if you're a NASCAR fan or whatever, you're on edge. You're on the edge of your seat. Like, what's going to happen now? Because of the fact that it happened on the track, and because of the fact that he walked out onto the track while cars are, you can't do that. I know it's done many times before. There's many occasions where drivers get pissed off. They get, clipped or purposely, put into some kind of a spin or crash or whatever. They'll get out of their vehicle. They'll throw their helmet at the passing car or something like that. There's a lot of people letting out steam and getting pissed off on the track and stuff, but nothing like this. This is tragic. Because he walked across the track, I truly believe that Tony Stewart won't go through any kind of legal problems. Like, you would think it'd be like vehicular manslaughter, right? If someone hits someone with a car and kills them, they got to go to jail or they got to do something. They have to be held liable for that. But this is a very specific situation where you're on a racetrack. You're not supposed to walk across a racetrack when the friggin' cars are coming around. So I personally don't think that he's going to get into any legal trouble, but I think this is seriously messing with his head right now. I think I'm making the prediction that he is going to quit driving. If maybe not permanently, but at least take the rest of the season off. I don't foresee him coming back to the track and driving. I think that it's unfortunate, but he's going to get a lot of flack from people in the sport. If he returned, he was supposed to race this weekend in Watkins Glen, New York, which I've been to that track. That was the first track I ever saw a race at, and I've been there a couple of times. I love it. It's an awesome experience to go there and watch. But he opted to obviously not race this race. He's messed up in the head right now. He killed someone, and that's not to be taken lightly. Whether he was screwing around or whether it was completely an accident, whatever the case, he took that kid's life. 20 years old, took his life, ruined his family forever. And that I've met Tony Stewart. I talked to him briefly. There was a couple of situations where I was up at first I was in Richmond, Virginia, at the track watching a race, and I saw Tony behind the fence. Pre-game or pre-race rather. You can walk around, of course, and I used to go to those races with my friend Charlie, and we used to always walk past where the drivers' trailers were and stuff, and we kind of BS through the fence and stuff like that. They do some autographs and stuff, and I followed Tony's career a little bit. He wasn't my favorite driver or anything, but stand-up guy. He's been known to be a hothead, and he's a little aggressive in his sport, but I don't think he's a douche or anything, you know. I think that he's a good-hearted person, and this is really killing him, and like I said, I don't foresee him racing for the rest of the season. So I just want to make this video to basically open up a forum for comments for people who watch NASCAR. I'd like to hear your opinions on what's going to happen. Do you think that he's going to be charged with criminal acts? Do you think he's going to be charged with vehicular manslaughter or, you know, murder in some degree? Do you think that's a possibility? Do you think that he's going to continue racing before the season's over? Do you think his career's over because of this? I mean, this is huge news. Not just for him, I mean, just for NASCAR as a sport. Pretty big. I know a lot of people don't care about NASCAR. They think it's stupid, but I'll tell you this, and I mentioned this in past videos before as well. If you don't go to a NASCAR race, physically be at the race to watch it, you can't speak to the sport. You know, I think tennis is incredibly boring. I would never watch a tennis game. The Wimbledon, obviously, some people like it. That's why it exists. And if I went to a tennis match, I might like it a little more. So don't cast judgment on the sport of NASCAR unless you've been to it. If you go to a race and you experience that, and then you walk home, or, you know, obviously not going to walk home. You get in your car and you're driving home and you think, yep, that sucks. I still don't like NASCAR. That's totally cool. But you got to experience it once. Every red blood American man, when you're at a race and you feel that power in your stomach when they're flying past you, you know, 170, 180 miles an hour, that's a rush. That's a cool sport. I don't know a whole lot about cars, but I love cars. I think every guy has that in them, to like powerful cars, you know? It's a man thing. And it's an experience to go to a NASCAR race. Watching on TV, granted, if you don't know what's going on, you don't know who's on, you know, what race team and what's going on in the season, yeah, it's a bunch of cars going in a circle. I get that. It's boring for some people. But once you really understand the sport and you understand what's going on and you've experienced going to a race, it changes it. It changes the whole perspective on the sport. So anyway, I'm not going to preach. I don't really care if you guys like NASCAR or not. Like I said, I haven't followed it really closely, but I just heard this news, and that was shocking. That was truly shocking to me to hear that, and I just want you guys' opinions on it. So post in the comments what you think is going to happen to Tony Stewart, and how this may change the sport, you know? I mean, obviously, it's a tragedy. It is a tragedy, but the point here is, my personal opinion, I don't think Tony is going to be charged with a criminal act for what he did. He was racing on a racetrack. There was a man walking across it. It's unfortunate he hit him. I do believe he tried to scare. This is my personal opinion. I've watched the footage over and over and over again, probably 50 times. And I think he was being a dick, and he tried to get close to him to scare him, and he never intended to hit him. But obviously something happened that he didn't intend to happen. So anyway, thoughts and prayers go out to Kevin Ward Jr. and his family. That's tragic, and it's a big loss for the sport. So anyway, just a video for the NASCAR fans out there. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down below. And if you don't have an opinion on this subject, at least tell me who your favorite driver is. I like a lot of drivers, and don't give me flack for this, but when I first started the sport, and I first started following it, I was a big Montoya fan. That's right. Friggin' Montoya. I like Carl Edwards. I followed Greg Biffle for a little while, Jeff Gordon. I've liked pretty much every driver. I've actually rooted for Nemechek for a long time just because he sucks so bad. I'm sorry. I know he had his heyday back in the day. I didn't watch back then, but I kind of root for the underdogs, the guys in the way back, the guys that do 3-4 laps and then, you know, pull it off the track for the day. I'm hoping one of these days there's a big pile up and one of those guys win. You know, one of the people who always place 30, 40. It'd be cool to see one of those names up on top. But anyway, that's it for now. Thanks for watching, guys. Hope you have a great day, and I'll see you soon.